I've had depressive tendencies my entire life.
Hmm.
And sometimes I fall into it, and it can be a little bit, even with all of the resources I have and all the relationships I have with people like you, it's still sort of up to each individual to find their process.
Yeah.
And I fall into that oftentimes. And I know that this is a big deal for just who we are as integralists. And one of the things that we so often see is that integral, because it represents a kind of wholeness to a lot of people, right? It's a grand integration of life, the universe, and everything. That's very attractive to people who feel an innate sense of brokenness.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people who come into the integral space are coming through that trajectory of, I feel broken. I don't want to feel broken. I want to feel whole, right? I want to go from here to there. And I think what you're saying is absolutely profound. It's not a matter of going from here or there. It's a matter of, again, we're all broken. We're all whole. These two poles are always already true for us, no matter who you are. And
Yeah.
yeah, there are spectrums on each side. Some people feel more or less broken than others. Some people feel more or less whole than others. That's absolutely true. But it's always both. There's always a simultaneity. And in fact, you wouldn't be able to even notice your own brokenness if you didn't also have that part in yourself that can recognize wholeness when it's there, right? Even if
It's the
we're
way I
experiencing
felt.
that as a lack, it's still there. And this is I think a really big point, because again, a lot of people come into the integral space sort of bleeding out in a lot of ways. It's a story that we often see, and I've seen too many people come through the integral space and eventually take their own lives. I've had two staff members that I've worked with take their own lives, which is devastating, right? It's
Oh,
devastating, and especially devastating because I recognize myself in that, right? I recognize that brokenness. That's not just your brokenness. I mean, this is your version of it, but I have that in me too. And I've had the same thoughts. I've had the same darkness that a lot of people feel. And, to me, this has been the gift of integral, is being able to, again, feel the simultaneity of that, to feel the brokenness, but without getting too despondent, to feel the wholeness, but without getting too, I don't know, self-righteous, or
grandiose
too
without getting grandiose.
grandiose, or to
So do you have a different?
bypass,
Are you
or
feeling a different relationship with that now after your?
100%, hundred
And so
percent.
what's that different relationship that you feel, Corey?
Well, for one, I noticed that well, I would say the first thing is no matter how far I'm skewing into one pole or the other, I can still feel the heartbeat from the other pole. So it's
That's
still,
it. That's it.
even if it's distant from me in this moment, I can still feel that it is there, right? That chamber of my heart is still beating. So that has helped. Like, I can feel just a little bit more connective tissue, so that when I'm falling into the darkness, it's not just complete blackness. There's still, I can see that thread, right? So that's been really helpful, and that in turn has actually allowed me to recognize that, if I am falling into that darkness, there's a part of me that's like, this is okay.
Yeah.
You can let yourself go. You can let yourself fall apart every once in a while. You can let yourself be brokenness, right? Inhabit the brokenness, because there is a compassion and a wisdom that comes through that, right? That you would never recognize if you didn't have a familiarity with the darkest corners of our own hearts.
Mm.
And so that has been tremendously helpful. Just by feeling the bothness of it, I can also, I can allow myself to be sort of either or as needed. And then, I would say the amount of time that it's still a natural process. I can't really force it. If I'm in a depressive cycle, I can't just push myself out of it.
Right.
But if I
Right.
surrender to a process, if I have more trust and faith that my body mind knows what it's doing right now. I've been here before. I've made this loop many, many, many times. It gives me that much more, I guess, sort of like a quiet confidence or maybe a faith that this is, this is going to circle back around and all things must pass. Right now, George Harrison is my daughter's greatest spiritual teacher, so she's been reflecting a lot of the George Harrisisms back to me, which is amazing and beautiful. But
that's adorable. She's picked, the most spiritual of all three of them, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
so that's
you're talking about your wise self, Corey. How your wise self is online, even when you're depressed.
Yeah.
Noticing that?
Yeah.
That's there. That's a stable feature of the Corey consciousness that you're describing.
I feel that too, and I'm indebted to all of these conversations I've had with you, and everything with my integral life that has helped me with that, and this becomes sort of my passion, right? Is I know how many people are coming through here feeling exactly like I did when I was 19, 20 years old when I discovered this stuff, and I just felt like I was a bug against a windshield, just smashed and broken and bleeding out, and feeling sort of this upswell that Integral has provided for me. I want to share that with everyone who's coming into this space. Like, this kind of healing is possible, and that doesn't mean it's all love and light and rainbows. And I don't think any of us even want that if that was even possible, which it's not. But things get better, and our body minds really do know how to find their way through.